What's up, guys? Today we are going to do a little work on the Datsun for you. We got a few shakedown miles in with it and it just has a little bit of overheating issues. The radiator's not up to par. I mean, it's just not that much of a surprise. Vehicle's 60 years old. God knows how long it's been sitting for. So we're just gonna get that torn out of here today and get that going. So get the garage door up, get some cars moved around, and we'll go. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the radiator. This just has water in it, so nobody get all crazy. Little pet cack here. Probably looking at that radiator like I did and be like, damn, that's got a big ass tank on it. What's the problem? Well, the problem is the core is only half of this. It's a 2-core. With just a big impressive tank. So, and then we've just got some bolts, 1/2-inch bolts right here. The shroud and the fan will probably, or the radiator should come out as an assembly. Once we get the lower hose off, lower hose clamp right here. You can see in there. Back that guy off. There she is out. There she is on the floor. So this core is like 15 inches. 15 inches square, it's not huge. And then like I said, it's only 2-core. It only takes up half of that. So I guess that lower tank maybe wouldn't fit otherwise, but anyway. I figured out my overheating problem, and this is super dumb, but here's what we got. You ready for this? There's a rag in there. Wonder why it wasn't cool. Dope. Oh, I ain't gonna get it. There's what I got out of there. I don't know, that's paper towel or something. It's pretty gnarly, but it saves us some money. So what I'm gonna do is, inside of the car, I'm just gonna let it dry out. I'll hit it with a fresh coat of paint, slam it back in there, and we should be on to the next thing. Okay, well, I did the radiator, tore it in, tore it out, took it for a test drive. It's more or less doing the same thing. So it's gonna come back out again, go to the shop, see if we can either boil it or hopefully recore it. So I went and had it boiled after I already bought a radiator, so hopefully it will work somewhat better. In somewhat rare fashion, I ordered some parts that gave me a huge lead time, and my parts are gonna show up before the lead time. So you'll get to see me take the radiator out of this vehicle one more time, because, you know, like I said, anything worth doing once is worth doing 5 times at least. So we're gonna wait patiently for my favorite dude to show up in the big brown truck, and then we're gonna get this bitch torn out of there one more time. The radiator did show up finally, which is super sweet. Of course, I had to wait a couple more days to get a cap that is supposed to be the right one. I guess we'll find that out. So let's look in the box and see what we got. Sure looks shiny. There she is. And you can tell versus the other one, this is quite a bit bigger. A big 2-core. All right, with all custom parts, you got to make sure everything fits. So I have the old radiator out, and we need to basically make sure those holes are going to mount up. So put a little cover on that core so it doesn't get dinged. this side hits. This side doesn't quite hit. All right, you can see the core support lines up right here pretty good. However, you can see that that bolt hits. That bolt is a little off. That bolt hits. That bolt was a little bit off, so I had to open those holes up so this bad boy fits in there, and I'll be glad I did it without having to fight it in the car. Well, nothing says you own it like grinding on a brand new part. Not much. She is pretty much in, and not too bad. Actually pretty good fit. Those holes are a little bit off. You can see the alignment in the core support. It just fit perfectly. You see down in there, you can see the size of the core. Reverse what the old ones look like. Good fan clearance. All right, here's the old guy. Anyway, I had it boiled. You saw us in the parade. It was still trying to overheat in the parade right there, and it's not even hot out yet. So I guess tomorrow I'm going to fill this up and give it a test and make sure we got our money's worth. All right, kids, I skipped past all the boring stuff, but radiator's in. Had to kind of refit the shroud action a little bit. And so now we're getting some testing done. We're basically getting up into temp range now, so we'll just kick it for a minute and see if it wants to overheat again. In the interim of doing this, we were supposed to go run the cruise poker run thing today, and it just like, I mean, I'm getting a hailstorm this morning. I am a fair weather whatever. I do not want to be out in the rain, so we skipped that for today, and we're hoping that the rain will hold off for tomorrow, because obviously we don't want to take the lady out in the rain. This is what the sky looks like. Still threatening. Oregon weather, wait 5 minutes, it might change, it might get worse. You heard that rain? That's why we didn't go out. Look, it's General.
I already missed like half of the cars, and they still just keep coming. It's just like the line to get into the car show. Unreal. How many of these cars do you think are going to run hot while we're doing this?
In the continuing debacle that we call the Datsun Roadster cooling issues, you saw that we put a new radiator in this bad boy, took it to the car show, or attempted to take it to the car show. It's still overheating while it's sitting. It was cooling really well moving down the highway, which basically just says when I'm going slow and at idle, it's not moving enough air, which really doesn't surprise me. These cars are known to have cooling issues. You saw the original core, it was super shitty. This core is not shitty. So what I ended up doing was taking a measurement, going online and finding some auxiliary fans to hook up to this guy. The Roadster actually has a pretty rad spot in the core support. These are a small 5.2 inch pusher fan. They move about 300 feet per minute. This is the little Hayden controller you see right there. I have wired up with the relay, little temp bulb. I'll spare you guys all that boring wiring stuff, but I will post a wiring diagram. This is the cheap temp switch that I'm using. You just get it off the shelf. I got this from O'Reilly's, like $20 or something. Small fans. Here's your part number. They make these in a pusher or puller. I ended up getting these through Summit. I don't have any sponsorships, but they just had a good price. I get stuff basically overnight from Summit, so I can't beat that. And we're gonna fire this thing off and get the fan adjusted. So what I'm doing now is I'm basically letting the vehicle temp up, and I'm gonna use infrared. Basically I'm just shooting the coolant. And when the coolant gets up to the temperature that I need it to, I'll adjust the fan to turn on, make sure it's cycling at the temps that I want it to, and that'll be that. That is the sound of success. I turn these on at about 190-ish as far as the coolant goes. I'm waiting for this to cycle off. See how that goes. While I'm letting it idle, trying to get the fans to work, I was gonna go drive it around, and I came back and it had died. Go to start it, it's got a dead battery. I just came to the conclusion that the voltage regulator had died on me. Played with that, and I guess what's happening is it's got one of the coils, I think, is just going open when it gets hot, and then it just doesn't work right. And that's what that guy looks like. The OE/NOS period correct replacement that's gonna go on there. That's what that guy looks like. This is just a generic ass, like GM, I guess, old style GM mechanical regulator. Nothing special. Crappa, 1995. As mentioned, here's this bad boy. He said this is a mechanical carbon pile regulator. Some sort of black magic shit going on in there, I guess. So another kind of a weird thing about this vehicle is, even though it is Japanese, everything is SAE. So no metric hardware, no metric tools. Kind of sucks for a Toyota boy. On the plus side of having to buy a new part, I get to put the right part back in. And if you can put the right part back in, do it. I know sometimes you just can't do it, but do it. Then I wouldn't have two holes in my fender that I don't need. This tag is the armature mark. A, F, and B on here. Let's see if it does charge type stuff. That looks like charge type stuff. And that's lights and heater on. I did drive it around with the radiator a little bit up and down the block. I didn't want to get too far away from home because I didn't have a tow, but the radiator seems to be cooling right. The fans do cycle on. I haven't got them to cycle off yet, so we're just waiting on that as well. Well, after much ado, I got them to cycle off at about 160, it looks like. We are still properly charging at full temp, so that's awesome. That's about what the temp gauge looks at. It turns out the voltage regulator was messing with the temp gauge, kind of making it go all over the place. So it's nice to kill two birds with one stone. I'm just gonna hang out and let this recycle again. Had these coming on about 195, so we'll just hang out and see what happens. Fans are cycling on and off. That fan switch looks like it's got about a 30-degree swing. Coming on about 195-ish is where we clicked out on right there, and 165 is where we shut back off. So if you get that switch, that's what your degree swing will be. And obviously it's adjustable and all that stuff, but I'll take a small victory in the garage. Looks like we're good to go. That voltage regulator was messing with my temperature gauge swing and probably the fuel gauge and stuff as well. So that'll be nice to drive that around and see what happens with that. That pretty much is going to wrap up this piece of the Datsun fiasco, I think. Got that fatty radiator, the spall fans, the controller, and the voltage regulator to top off a cooling problem fix. Appreciate you hanging in there and enjoying the vehicle with me. Thank you for watching.
That wraps up another episode of Snale Racing.
Thank you for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. It's pretty. On the other side.